Hello, my friends! Welcome on back for more Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Hope everyone's doing good. Oh my gosh, every time we play, I get anxious every time. I'm like, oh my god, we're almost at the end of Ace Attorney. Every single time, I'm like, oh my god, we're closer and closer every stream. Oh man, I've pretty much built this Twitch account to literally just be Ace Attorney focused. It's gonna be so sad when we're all out. But here we go. 22nd February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. The Old Bailey. This place always makes me feel strange. I seem to get chills down my spine and break out in a nervous sweat all at the same time. Well, I didn't think I'd be back here so soon. That's my line. I'm gonna guess Sasuke. Yep. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Natsume. It was only 2 days ago that I was declared not guilty here. Yes, we somehow managed to prove he didn't stab Miss Green in the back. Somehow. But now this. Another morning, another murder, and here I am again in this hellhole. Can't keep coming to court. I'm beginning to think he's right. It really does seem as though he's cursed.
Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid I have bad news. Oh! Mr. Natsume, good morning.
What's the bad news, Susato? Yes, morning.
So, here we are again.
Yes, again. Judicial Assistant Miss Migatoma, Esquire-S, what's the bad news?
Oh dear. You heard, did you?
If you come in shouting at the top of your voice, people can't help hearing what you say.
Oh, I am sorry.
You've done nothing wrong, Miss Susato. Now, what is it?
Well, it seems that the prosecution in today's trial will be led by Lord Barak von Zieks.
Von Zieks is back. Von Zieks? Oh no, no, no. This is his true Reaper of the Bailey curse right now. He doesn't get killed for getting not guilty on the last case. He has to come to court again. The so-called Reaper of the Bailey, the most legendary prosecutor in the land. In the trial 2 days ago, he pursued Sasuke-san and I relentlessly. Of course, by the skin of our teeth, we managed to pull through, but still.
Perhaps Mr. Natsume's acquittal in the last trial wasn't the end of the matter, after all.
Yes, I know what you're thinking. The legend of the Reaper that says, nothing can save a person in the dock when Lord Von Zieks is the prosecutor. Oh no!
So, even if that person is found not guilty, the accused will meet a mysterious end one way or another.
Yeah, way to get his nerves higher. And we've experienced it firsthand. A man we successfully defended met the most terrifying end after his acquittal, right here in the Old Bailey. Imagine playing this game without the context of the first game, being like, what? They're just brushing over this? Oh, do I have to put up with those ice-cold eyes boring into my soul again? Cursed by evil spirits and now by the Reaper. Pair of petrifying perils, potentially.
Well, if it's potentially, At least you appear to have hope, Mr. Natsume.
Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Yes? I'm innocent. You have to believe me. You know more than anyone now. Don't worry. I'll be your steadfast ally every step of the way in this battle. I promise. And this promises to be a hard battle, I fear.
Well, the trial is scheduled to begin shortly. We should move into the courtroom.
Let's go.
Oh, yes, I forgot to say. I'm afraid we won't be able to make it. He won't be able to make it. Mr. Sholmes, I mean.
That's probably for the best.
Oh.
If he were here, I might be tempted to rely on his help. And that could be seen as a weakness. If Lord Von Zieks were to notice, he'd prey on it mercilessly. At least, that's my gut feeling.
Mr. Naruhodo.
You're right. Yes, you're so right. Oh, well said, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Well said. I swear on this sword at my side and on the spirit of Kazuma that it harbors. Oh! Ooh. My heart. Ugh. God, Kazuma's really haunting the narrative. I'll show him what a Japanese lawyer can do. I'll set you free. With honor.
Oh, yes.
February, 9:40 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Chatter, chatter. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. Readiness for the trial, my learned Nipponese friend, is not what the defense needs. What you need is readiness for your inevitable defeat. It's not just in my imagination. It's really there. Lord Van Zieks has such an animosity towards us Japanese for some reason. Yeah.
It was some time ago now that he first became known as the Reaper of the Bailey, I believe. These past few years, he hasn't appeared in court at all.
Yet now he's back in the courtroom. Though for some reason, only when I'm defending. Oh. That's how these prosecutors go. This Reaper, with his curious disdain for us Japanese, is a prosecutor shouted in mystery. Still, this isn't the time to be pondering that. I have to concentrate on Sasuke-san's trial. Furthermore, I now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You have been chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to fulfill your duty? Oh, it's him again. Absolutely. I had a feeling this larrikin wasn't innocent before. Don't they have other people? Is there no other people in London?
I must say that I feel especially ruthless on days when my heart refuses to sit right. Oh, well, I rather like how you're wearing your heart. I think the ruthless look is very fetching, actually.
She's new.
I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. I have a very important meeting. Let's make this quick.
He's not. I couldn't agree more. I need to take home 5 bob tonight, or the missus will go through the roof. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict.
The British jury system is so very different to our own, isn't it? Do you need a refresher, even though you just had a trial 2 days ago? It's quite extraordinary to think that the power of judgment is in the hands of 6 members of the public, and that the judge can only pass sentence when all jurors are in agreement about the defendant's guilt.
6 citizens of London chosen at random, or at least that's the idea. The prosecution would draw attention to the fact that the accused was on trial here but 2 days ago. Accordingly, where possible, the same jurors have been asked to return for duty today. Very well. Let us commence the trial. Lord Van Seeks, your opening statement, please. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is not the intent of the prosecution to cast doubt over your past decisions. However, the innocent verdict afforded to this eccentric Nipponese before has had dire consequences. Did the accused repent for his wrongdoing in that affair? Far from it. Instead, he used his freedom to perpetrate a most blood-curdling crime, namely that of the attempted murder of his neighboring lodger, an innocent Englishman who... To explain the circumstances of the crime, the prosecution calls its first witnesses to the stand. Oh, there it goes. The detective responsible for investigating the scene and the accused himself. Witnesses, your names and occupations, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector, Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. Sosuke Natsume, from the Empire of Japan. My government ordered me to come here as a student to study your language and culture. Mr. Natsume. Yes, my lord, sir? I'm quite sure I'm not mistaken that you swore an oath never to set foot in my courtroom again. I remember it as if it were yesterday. It was actually 2 days ago, Your Honor. The day before, in fact, my lord, but close enough. Believe me, this is the last place I want to be. Inspector, let's hear from you first. Explain the case for the court. Right you are, sir. Well, the incident occurred at the Garrett household where the defendant had lodgings. In the ground floor of the room of the victim, Mr. William Shamspeare. The defendant has already admitted to visiting the victim on the night in question. Mr. Shamspeare collapsed in his room as a result of the poisoning by strychnine. He was found the following morning when the landlord, suspecting something was wrong, broke down the door. This means, I presume, that the door to the victim's room was locked at the time of the incident. Correct, my lord. It was locked from the inside, making entry or exit from the room impossible. Although the victim, Mr. Shamspeare, lives to tell the tales. He very nearly didn't. The man was halfway to heaven when we first found him. I was the first officer on the scene, my lord. And I have a photographic print here that I took at the time to show how it looked. Yes, a chilling scene indeed. The man looks very much deceased. Right? Everyone present believed that's exactly what he was. Very well. I shall accept this photographic print as evidence for the court. Photographic print of the scene taken by police upon their arrival. The victim can be seen unconscious at the table, having been poisoned. Now then, Mr. Natsume. Yes. As the defendant, do you have anything to say at this juncture? I'm guilty. No, they're haunted by evil spirits. Good gracious, what's haunted? My lodgings. There's been a whole series of strange things happening at my lodgings. The tenant before me died in mysterious circumstances. A woman was stabbed by no one on the street outside. My neighbor was poisoned, and me? What about me? I'd verily been killed countless times. Killed, Mr. Natsume? How? Even on that fateful night it happened when I returned from Mr. Shamspear's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out and somebody tried to kill me. You must always extinguish all fires before retiring for the night, Mr. Natsume. And it's so cold, my runny nose would freeze. The point is, I didn't poison my neighbor. Oh, why am I being accused of this? Why is my existence so cursed? Thank you, witness. I believe I have a reasonably clear picture of events. If I could raise one more point, my lord. One more conclusive point. Conclusive? Go on. Fortunately, the victim, Mr. Shamspear, has regained consciousness after his ordeal. And he has named the true culprit. The poison consumed by the victim was administered in a cup of tea that he drank on the night in question. Tea, my lord, that was brought to the victim's room by the accused. Oof. The accused? Good grief. Sorry about that. Let's take a drink. Order, order. Yes, that's the crux of this whole case. If Sosuke-san is innocent, then why? Why has the victim accused him? Well, Mr. Natsume, what have you to say to this accusation? That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspear's room. As a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I brought bottled water especially to make it. And this is the result. Never will I touch tea again, never! Oops. The public pump was frozen, you say?
That's not information we've heard before.
That will do, thank you. Now, according to our laws, the defense must have the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses at least once. Therefore, I call upon these witnesses now for formal testimony. I presume the prosecution has no objection. None whatsoever, my lord. Good. Then you will give your account of events on the night in question to the court, now. Yes, my lord. My lord. It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor and I took some tea with me as a gift. We had a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. My tea was completely harmless. He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, could he? I periodically swoon over Von Zieg's, but he really is that. Strychnine takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't keel over immediately after taking it. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guest left. The argument still stands. Okay. Yes, I see. It all seems relatively straightforward.
Excuse me, but that testimony does raise one rather critical point, I think. Mr. Natsume claims his tea to have been harmless, presumably, though. The teacups have been examined for traces of poison, haven't they?
Ew. Why didn't I think of that? Well, as it happens, no. Or haven't been able to. So you have no proof. Cool. Did I hear you correctly, Inspector? Scotland Yard has failed to examine the suspect substance. How could you have overlooked something so important? Isn't that the first thing you should have done? My learned Nipponese friend is falsely incensed. What'd you say? The inspector said Scotland Yard was unable to examine the tea, not that it was overlooked. Unable? Why? Simple enough. There was none left, not a drop. Someone must have been very thirsty indeed. Well, with current scientific techniques, it's not possible to test for poison under such circumstances. We'll only need a drop, but that one drop does actually have to exist, funnily enough. How convenient. It's almost like maybe his tea wasn't poisoned at all. The lack of examination notwithstanding, it appears nothing other than the tea passed the victim's lips on the night in question. Save for a gentle kiss. I see. Thank you. The matter is clear. Cast your eyes over the jury, my learned friend. What? You can see it in their faces, I'm sure. The recognition of the accused's guilt. Your client's fate is all but sealed. In mere moments from now, you will lose, and your compatriot will be damned for all eternity. He's right. I can feel all 6 of the jurors looking daggers at me. But I can't let them beat me down. I won't. Counsel for the defense. Proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. The catastrophic night. It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor and I took some tea with me as a gift. We had a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went to my room around 11. That seems like something we should press on. A literary debate? Every time I press, it's never what I think he's gonna press on. I was talking about like the time and stuff, like if we get more information about that, but nope. Literary debate about Shakespeare's works, I think you said, didn't you? Shakespeare? A very worthy topic of conversation, I must say. Oh, yes, my lord. Romeo and Juliet, who was stronger? It was a profoundly pleasurable parley. Romeo and Juliet? Who was stronger? I know I'm gonna regret asking this, but how did the debate go? Well, We both agreed that we would reach a conclusion more quickly with a reenactment. So we battled it out in a Greco-Roman style, naturally. Oh, I thought you were acting out Romeo and Juliet. What? Mr. Shakespeare had all sorts of costumes in his room for just such a contest. So, when you say a reenactment, you mean you were actually in costume? Yeah, okay. He as Romeo, I as Juliet, and after a vigorous, wild tussle, I as Juliet came out on top. A victory I'll cherish forever. I dare not imagine the terrible scene of carnage. The fact remains that it was you who prepared the tea and took it to the victim, correct? I boiled the water in my room and made a pot to take with me. I'd heard that he was too poor to have tea himself, you see. It's true, there was no sign of any tea leaves in the man's room. I wanted to do something nice, to be friendly. So why is everyone looking at me with such suspicion? My tea was harmless, of course it was. And do you have any basis for that statement, witness? My tea was completely harmless. He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, could he? That's fair. That's fair. Yes, there was not a drop of tea left in the victim's room anywhere, was there? That's correct. No one would think the fella had never had a pot of tea before. He must have licked it dry. Which is a pity, because one drop is all we would have needed to analyze it for poison. And you say that you returned home to your room at 11 o'clock, Mr. Natsume? Yes, definitely. By heaven and earth, I swear it. Landlord was able to verify that as it happens. He confirmed the defendant went back to his room at 11 that night. And how was the landlord able to attest to this? It was the lamps, I believe. The lamps, Inspector? When tenants return to their rooms and start using gas, the lamps in other parts of the house flicker. Nope, one sec. Oops. There we go. Sorry about that.
Yes, Mr. Garrideb seems to pay a lot of attention to the comings and goings of his tenants.
There's only one key to Mr. Shakespeare's rooms, I know that for certain. So he must have locked the door himself from inside his room. The victim has confirmed that to be the case, yes. So I'm right, my tea was harmless, completely harmless. If you take poison, you die. Everyone knows that. It's not that simple, I'm afraid. What do you mean? Strychnine takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't keel over immediately after taking it. Hold it! How long does it take for symptoms to appear then? According to the coroner speaking to the yard, about 30 minutes after the poison's consumed. And the victim suffers violent convulsions, cramping, and stiffness, and eventually dies from asphyxiation. So there's a 30-minute interval between when the poison is ingested and the onset of symptoms. There seems to be a lot of different types of poison in the world, that's for sure.
Oh dear. Death by poisoning again. It's always so awful.
13 minutes is a long time. Certainly long enough for the victim to have locked the door behind the accused after he left. You can't deny that. And it further degrades Sasuke-san's alibi. Or the medical report from the doctor who examined the victim here, my lord. Spells it out, really. The accused is the only person who could have done it. Very well. The court will add this report to the court record as evidence. Okay, we got a medical report. I don't know why we didn't get that before, but sure. A report issued by Scotland Yard's medical officer. It obviously mentions the poison as well as other details gleaned during the police investigation.
Oh yes, I see it here. Delayed onset of symptoms.
Great. Okay, let's read the medical report. Victim William Shakespeare, 31. Cause of coma. Ingestion of a small quantity of strychnine. Toxic effects present 30 minutes after ingestion. High likelihood of the substance having been mixed with the tea the victim was drinking, but no sample could be obtained for testing. Investigative conclusions. The poisoning incident occurred at around 1:30 a.m. Okay, that's more than half an hour. On 21st February, assessed from the victim's pocket watch that appears to have broken when the man collapsed after the delayed onset of symptoms. No container for the poison was found at the scene. So yeah. We have a convenient watch breaking. We love when that happens. We love when a watch conveniently breaks to let us know when things happen. But also 1:30 is way longer than half an hour, which he said he left his room at 11. So we have a contradiction. Which means we can go back in the testimony. Victim will have been perfectly able to lock the door. This guest left. The argument still stands. Yeah, he went back to my room around 11.
Objection!
Mr. Natsume, you say it was 11 p.m. when you left to return to your room, correct? Yes. And Inspector Gregson, can we rely on the information in the medical report unconditionally? Of course we can. There's no problem with that report, Sunshine. Actually, I think there's a very big problem. Because there's a chronological inconsistency between it and the defendant's testimony. What you on about? According to this report, the victim must have consumed the poison at around 1:30 in the morning. And yet, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, left the victim's room at 11. Yes, that's right. There's more than 2 hours of missing time there. In other words, if there was a poison in the tea that Mr. Natsume brought to the victim's room, how could the victim have fallen ill to it 2.5 full hours after the defendant left? Oh. The defense's argument is entirely reasonable. How do you respond, Lord Van Seeks? Pray forgive the discourtesy if my mind has wandered. I was considering what cuisine would best complement the contents of my hallowed chalice this luncheon. How could it have happened, you ask? I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nipponese friend appears to be chasing a phantom idea. A phantom? Is it so hard to imagine that the victim drank his tea after the accused had left? For example, at the time stated in the medical report. Yes, at around 1:30.
Objection!
Mr. Natsume brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor. And in Japan, there's a well-known saying, drink tea while it's hot.
Objection!
And in my country, there's an even more apt saying. There is nothing more refreshing than cold tea. Is that... The point is, if there was such a long gap, There may be other ways to explain how the victim came to be poisoned, other possibilities. What sort of possibilities, Counsel? I don't know yet. Well, for example, the man could have had another visitor. Sure. Another visitor. That's a very bold assertion, my learned friend. From someone who has nothing to substantiate it. Or the victim could have taken the poison of his own volition. Yeah. You suggest this may have been a suicide, Counsel.
Objection!
Mr. Shakespeare has categorically denied suicide. Yeah, and let's just take his word for it. The idea can and must be discounted.
Objection!
it's fun. Ryunosuke needs to get some force behind his like little table slaps because it's very sad. but he could be lying. Yeah, he could. Yeah. Damn it. He got me. Is something wrong, Lord Van Zeeks? I was listening to the sound of the carriage pulling up outside the courtroom. Pray forgive the discourtesy. Carriage? What carriage? It would seem that the key player in this case has just arrived. Oh. Pray forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hallowed chalice here in this great chamber. Oh. Who said it? There's a 7TV emote of him doing that. That's awesome. I need to get 7TV on here. Out, out, a brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. I don't know who this is. Oh, it's Shakespeare. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Who, sir, are you? William Shakespeare, my lord. Alas, 'twas I, undone by these bitter events. I am the victor. Continuing the jokes from last time. God, I hate Shakespeare. Very nice reference. What's he doing here? To be fair, technically it's a trial about him. The prosecution seeks to call this gentleman to the stand. We're shamming it for Shakespeare. With his testimony, my learned friend's futile resistance will be utterly crushed. You're calling him as a witness? Very well, counsel. I grant your request with interest. I'm curious to discover what the court shall hear from the victim himself. This is unheard of. Happy am I, Shakespeare, to regale thee with my tale of woe, my lord. But I still have my own tale to tell, my own tale of worse woe. I can regale the court with the tale of my perfect innocence in perfect English. That will do, Mr. Natsume. Let the court now hear from the victim. But, ooh. Alright, so that's Mr. Shakespeare. But who's that other man beside him? Was that the guy that was looking in the window?
Yes, I feel sure we've caught a glimpse of that man before. Yeah, but when did he get here?
State your names and occupations for the court, please, witnesses. A A writer of words so sweet they do scent the breeze, an inventor of ideas so profound they compose the earth. The unrivaled poet, the unmatched scribe, William Shakespeare. With a great bard to be recalled to life anew, lo, what a magnificent man! Good fellows, I am he who ponders such a miracle, William Shakespeare. Well, the name's Meter Man. Adrian B. Meter Man. I work for the Altamont Glass Company, East End branch office.
Ah, I remember now. It was yesterday on Briar Road.
Oh yes, she's right, it's him. Oh, what's this? What's that man doing over there? He looks like he's trying to see into Sasuke-san's lodgings.
Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo?
Excuse me, could we have a word? There he goes. Yes, we spotted him outside Mr. Garredup's house that morning. And he's a gas company employee? What does he have to do with this case? So, Mr. William Shakespeare, you are the victim in this miserable affair, correct? Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember the sweet poison that didst cross me and cross mine innocent lips? I subpoenaed him for the trial, with his doctor's permission, naturally. Hearing the testimony of the aggrieved will remove any room for doubt from the jurors' minds, I'm sure. Behold, you have only to rearrange the letters of my name to see that me's a seraph. An angel indeed. Wow. How righteous. Thus be I noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart, as all heavenly angels be. Because there isn't a less contrived meaning in your name. No, not at all.
The jurors seem to be very moved by this man, I'm afraid.
Why? They're actually taking the seraph anagram's idea seriously? Why are they swooning over this guy? Thank you, witnesses, for your illuminating introductions. But, my lord, what's the man next to Mr. Shakespeare doing here? The gas man, I mean? Well, now. Allow me to enlighten my learned friend. You recall, I presume, your earlier impertinence when you suggested that the victim had another visitor to his room on the night in question. Well, this is the other visitor, the one who really poisoned him. We solved the case. And moreover, that the victim is a compulsive liar. What? No, I didn't quite say that. This young chin stroker is here to controvert your wild claims conclusively. Is that not so, Mr. Meter Man? Oh, hang on, no, I'm just... I hereby call for your formal testimonies. He's so extra. He is. You will tell the court as lucidly as possible what happened on the night in question. And one may smile and be a villain. Yes, it doth pain me, but let the truth be spoken. The truth of that wintry night of my discontent. His smile's so creepy. The wintry night of my discontent. Ah. The snow lay about, my neighbour did cometh in the evening, bearing a gift of tea. But marry, bitter was his drink, and when he left I did fall prostrate on my table. 'Twas the tea alone did pass my lips that late hour, not else. Oh, I was outside this bloke's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. Why? Why? Why were you doing that? Please. Explain in your next sentence. No one else visit his room but that short little round-backed Easton fella. Your Honor! What was he doing? Staring into the victim's room for hours. Your Honor! That's weird. Wait, what did you say? Thank you! Oh my god. Oh, Ryunosuke, I feel you. I understand you. You were keeping an eye on Mr. Shamsphere's room all night? That's right, of course. The bloke's window is all but blocked up, isn't it? But there's a little gap in the bricks where you can see into the room. You're creepy. So I spent the night trying to keep my teeth from chattering as I peered in through that. Why? Why? The question is, why? Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Oh, well now, that's because he's on my list. List of what? What a piece of work is a man. Wherefore wouldst thou not stare in wonderment? No, it's creepy. This is creepy. What are you talking about? This buzzing busybody have not part in this play. I pray thee, pay him no heed, and make no more ado about his tedious words. I will make ado about his words, because what is he saying? What you say about me? Calm yourself. This court is concerned with what happened on the night in question. Nothing more. I'm concerned. I'm concerned. Indeed, that is so. And as the testimony we have just heard clearly reveals, there was no one other than the accused present at the time who could have carried out this crime. Well, I believe this may be the final testimony of the trial. Final testimony, huh? Now, counsel, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. The snow lay about. My neighbor did come up in the evening, bearing a gift of tea.
Hold it!
Let's just press, because I have no idea. To be clear, by neighbor, you're referring to the defendant, Mr. Natsume? Oh, indeed, sire. Perchance thou wouldst that I call him the man from upstairs. And at what time did the mustachioed Nipponese visit you in your room? Our meeting was promised for the hour of 9, and lo did he come to tender a gift of fragrant tea. So why did you drink it a million hours later? Details which are in accordance with the defendant's own testimony, yes. And we were boiled in such a literary debate as history hath not seen before. By which I presume he means
Their discussion about who was the stronger, Romeo or Juliet.
Oh, Shamsphere did play the part of young Romeo, whilst my neighbour played the fair Juliet. Each of us dressed as would our characters be to bring weight upon our merry experiment. I dare not imagine the scene. Frailty, thy name is a woman. Canst thou imagine how dismayed I was? Yes, I had heard of the Eastern art of jujitsu, but ne'er did I dream 'twould be a skill practiced by the comely maiden. Juliet beat Romeo up? This is not helping our case. I believe the court has heard enough about your earth-shattering literary debate. Perhaps you could reiterate your statement about the tea that the accused brought to your room. My liege, I am thy servant. Gladly I would do thy bidding. But marry bitter was his drink, and when he left I did fall prostrate on my table.
Hold it!
Let me stop you there. Mr. Natsume left your room at 11 o'clock, but it wasn't until after 2 that the poison made you collapse. That amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. Thank you. Oh, he's dancing. If the defendant really put poison into your tea, that 3-hour window of time is something you're going to have to explain. Gladly. 'Tis an easy task. What? I did drink of the tea not while my guest did tarry, but after he took leave of me. Faith, 'twas stone cold, but at 1 hour post midnight, verily, were my lips parched.
Objection!
Oh, how convenient for you. That doesn't sound normal. Nay, 'tis quite ordinary, sire. After all, thou wouldst recall our fiery debate. Amidst such argument there'd be no time for fiery tea. Romeo and Juliet again. And who was stronger? Mr. Shakespeare, in summary, allow me to confirm. Did you not come here with the intention of naming your attacker? But of course, my liege. 'Twas the stupid lover of woods did attempt to shuffle me off this mortal coil. Ugh, we all know what that means. 'Twas the tea alone that passed my lips that late hour, nothing, not else.
Hold it!
So, you didn't have any kind of evening meal, dinner, supper, just a bar of soap. I'm so curious how this soap's gonna come into play. Huh, fie on luxury, fie on gluttony. To eat thrice daily is but a waste of time. Sorry? I would that my belly were full no more oft than the sun doth rise. Well, most heroic eating habits, I must say. Night and day do I fill my hours with learned study of the great bard and playwright. Hence is it that there doth not in my chamber be than the costumes of mine art. That would appear to be the case, as even a rodent was found starved to death in your room.
Now I think of it, it's not just food that was conspicuously missing from that room, is it? I don't recall seeing a single player's script anywhere.
For I have devoured them all. Oh. You've eaten, ma'am? Every word be within my skull. Didst thou imagine otherwise? Right, that wasn't misleading at all. Now, could you turn around, do you think? Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way the poison could have passed the victim's lips is in the tea. I was outside this bloke's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. All night! All night. It's really weird. Really creepy. But the windows of that house have all been filled in.
No, they haven't. A historical artifact of the now defunct window tax.
Yeah, you're right there. All bricked up oddly. But as it happens, there's a little part of the brickwork at the bottom corner that's been opened up. I was looking in through the gap.
Yes, there were a few bricks loose, weren't there?
And for some strange reason, a couple of bars of soap lined up on the edge outside as well. It's creepy. I won't let go and poking my chin in other people's business, especially on freezing cold nights. But them's my orders, so that's what I'll keep doing. As long as there's breath in my body. What? Is it something Mr. Garrett had put him up to? What's with all the theatricals today? Out of interest, Mr. Meterman, after the accused had left and returned to his own lodgings, did you see the victim leave the room at all? I'm so concerned about this guy. Why is it just me who's concerned? No, he never left. He was in that room the whole time as far as I'm concerned. Oh, look, he's concerned too. Funny timing. And we can therefore discount the possibility of suicide. How can you be sure of that? The police carried out a thorough investigation of the scene and found no receptacle for the poison. And since we know the victim didn't leave his room and hence didn't dispose of the poison's container himself, it's clear that this was no attempted suicide. Only the culprit could have removed the receptacle. Yes. Lucidly explained, counsel. Thank you. It really was. You can't argue with the logic. No one else visited his room but that short little round-backed Eastern fella.
Hold it!
You say a short little round-backed Eastern fella. So you can't be sure they was the defendant then?
Objection!
Got him there. How many other short little round-backed Nipponese with a mustache do you think there are in London? I don't know. Well, of course, it's only a narrow gap. It was quite dark, so I didn't notice the mustache. But he showed up at around 9, so I'm pretty sure myself. And when the person you saw arrived, did he and Mr. Shamspear drink tea together? Nah, sorry. Well, couldn't say. Why not? Because I couldn't see into their room all that well, could I? What I did see was the silhouette of that little round-backed fella wearing a pretty dress. And the pair of them started some kind of wrestling match. I tell you, I didn't know what to make of it. That's fair.
I suppose that was the Romeo and Juliet championship battle getting underway.
Mr. Meterman, allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you state with certainty that no one else visited the victim on the night in question? No question. Gossman's honor. Oh. Who's holding it? No, not the jury already. My lord? Goodness me. Yes, Mr. Foreman? Well, I've kept my mouth shut and listened up to now, but this has gone on long enough. Are you all with me? Ugh. Already? Yes, yes. Are we to understand that you ladies and gentlemen of the jury are in agreement with one another? That you've reached a unanimous decision? Too right we have. Are you all with me? Yes. Wait, no. The defense is in the middle of a cross-examination. To be honest, I was holding out a bit of hope for you, young man. Especially after you identified those few hours that followed the accused leaving the victim's room.
Yes, the 3 missing hours, as you put it. But in the end, what difference did they make? None as far as I could see. And since that's now apparent, there's really no reason to delay our decision any longer.
Like I was saying before, if I don't take 5 bob home with me tonight, the missus will blow it up. What's that? Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said. Very well. Let the court be apprised of your decisions. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your leanings as to the defendant's culpability. I wonder if it's guilty.
Guilty!
Wow.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
All of you? Well, it would appear that the jury is indeed unanimous. So, this time at least, it seems justice will be done. All's well that ends well, as they say. This calls for a toast, I feel. To the guilty being punished. Ugh. Ugh.
Get up, Mr. Naruhodo, please. The trial isn't over yet.
What do you mean, Mrs. Otto?
What about the information I found in this encyclopedia of British law I have?
don't. Game. I know that you have to do these little tutorial sections just in case people play a game for the first time. But the summation examination tutorial doesn't really work here if he just did a trial 2 days ago where he did this. That obscure right that belongs to the defense in these situations. Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, the summation examination? Remember? Wow, Susanoo, I completely forgot that I've been using it in every case up until now, and I just used it in a case 2 days ago. No, get up. Get up. The summation examination. Oh my god. Go ahead, explain it to us, the audience, what a summation examination is. Yes, that's right. We don't have a jury in Japanese courts, of course. But here in a British court of law, if we can reverse the decisions of a majority of the jurors, we can force the trial to continue. This trial can't end now. Whatever it takes, I just can't let that happen. Yeah, there's that force. The defense moves to invoke its right to a summation examination, my lord. Why am I not surprised at my learned Nipponese friend's inability to admit defeat? You choose to cling desperately to some archaic rule you barely comprehend instead of accepting the truth. Certainly no other defense counsel in recent times has exercised the right to a summation examination. Because they all know that once the jury's mind is set, it cannot be altered. It's been altered multiple times with you as the prosecutor. Multiple times. Every time, actually. Nevertheless, the right remains and must be upheld. The defense counsel's request is granted. This court will proceed with a summation examination as outlined in the Encyclopedia of British Law. Thank you, my lord. Are you and your fellows prepared, Mr. Foreman? Believe me, my lord, we all know all about this young lad's tenacity. And we're ready for it. Very well. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby call upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime for which he stands accused. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. The victim may not be well off, but he's a nobleman, and straight up, there's no reason to doubt the man.
Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid. Let's look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoops all the while, and has a mustache. Very fishy.
Okay, buddy.
There's no evidence to suggest the gangling actor is a fraudsman.
For now, at least. Ooh, that's probably gonna be important. I really don't care, like, I just need this trial done quickly. 3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know. Nothing at all. I knew it. Every single one of them seems completely convinced. So convinced.
It would seem that all the jurors have come to the conclusion that Mr. Shamspeare is a fine,
Upstanding and honest citizen. I bet he's none of those things. If you ask me, they've all been bewitched by his strange theatrical movements.
and sadly nothing Mr. Natsume has said appears to have registered at all.
Well, here goes. Let's not forget. I pleaded with the jury on Sosuke-san's behalf before and it worked, so you never know.
Before we begin, it might be an idea for...
No! 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 He did it 2 days ago in this universe. I know this is a new game. I know it's the first time. I know they have to do this because they have to have every game playable from any point in their franchise. That's their whole, like, thing. But no. Do not remind me what a summation examination is, Susanoo. I know what it is.
Might be an idea for me to remind you exactly how a summation examination works, Mr. Naruhodo. It's not like you did it 2 days ago.
Oh. Me too. Me too, Rhea.
Well, you're still very new to British law after all.
Shut up. Shut it. Shut it, Susanoo. You did not remind him last time. That's true, I suppose. And Sosuke-san's fate is entirely in my hands now, too. There's always a chance I might have forgotten some crucial detail. Perhaps I should hear Susanoo-san out. I'm gonna scream. I wonder, should I let her talk me through it again or not bother? No. No. Mm-mm. Thank you for the kind offer, Mrs. Otto. But I've been through plenty of these summation examinations already now. Thank you. I think it's important that we don't delay the start any longer than necessary.
Of course, I understand. And I'm quite sure you're right.
Yes. Like, I love you, Susanoo. I love you with all my heart. No.
If you're confused by anything at any point, you could turn to me for advice whenever you like.
I know.
I'll be here for you.
Thank you, Susanoo. The key to this is really listening carefully to each juror's statement. I know! I know! I know, do not explain it to me. I skipped the tutorial for a reason. Finding two that are contradictory and pitting the corresponding jurors against each other. Let's start pressing then. Without further ado, please, counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Yes, my lord. Sham spear in the background. The defense's rebuttal. Victim may not be well off, but he's a nobleman. Straight up, there's no reason to doubt the man. Let's press this, because I have a feeling this might give us something. Well, there are plenty of people in London who seem noble but poor. Couldn't some of them also be liars? Oh, I've no doubt about it. Like that shaky client of yours, for example. Absolutely not. Mr. Natsume is no liar. Look, the point is, the only thing that passed the victim's lips that night was that Japanese man's tea. When you take the gasman's testimony into account as well, the truth couldn't be any clearer. Well, that's alarmingly logical. Let me be frank here. I'm a gentleman with a gentleman's values. If it turns out the old Shakespearean chum is a rotten liar after all, I'll gladly change my decision about the defendant. I'm sure my fellow gentlemen on the jury would do the same. Isn't that right?
Well, yes, perhaps. Though I don't see it happening.
Huh? What's that? Elderly gent on the end here, you know. You'll have to speak up. Look, I don't really care about all this nonsense, I'll just need this trial to be over. How many gentlemen do we actually have on the jury, then? Alright, sir, I may hold you to that. Don't forget what you said. Alright, if you could show me that the victim's a liar, I'll reconsider my position. Okay.
I do declare that gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid.
I don't know if that's helpful. Maybe, I'll consider her.
Let's look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese.
Yeah, okay. He's... We'll come back to him in a minute if the line... We need more after the pitting the first guy against someone, but I don't think it's him. Her? Maybe. What did the other two say? Okay, like I just need to draw that quickly. He's not gonna be helpful. The rest missing diamond, nothing when you reach wide, you know. He's not helpful either. Okay, let's talk to her then. A fraudsman? What do you mean by that, madam?
It really is a most tiresome problem for the company. Most irritating. be absolutely certain that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence, we can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued. Oh. She worked with the... I'm sorry, you lost me a little there. Who are you? I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont, owner of the Altamont Gas Company. Okay, she's with the gas company. So, was Meterman spying on Shamspear because they are convinced he's stealing gas? Good gracious, Altamont gas, you say? Gas is the future of energy in this country and around the globe, but proper handling is essential. As I'm sure an employee from the Eastern Branch office would be the first to agree. Absolutely, Lady Quimby. Got to be used properly. Altamont gas is the best in the world, of course. I think we may have solved the mystery of the bow from earlier, Mr. Naruhodo.
Alright, he bowed in deference to his employer's wife, did he? So, would I be right in assuming that the reason Mr. Meterman was watching what Mr. Shamspear was up to in his room?
I'm afraid that there's no end to the lengths the population of the East End will go into in order to steal our gas. So I really have no choice when the company identifies somebody as a possible fraudsman. But the dispatch of worker to watch the suspect day and night. We're very thorough in our investigations.
So you mean Mr. Shamspear is...
I wanted to come out and say it in public.
But you can finish that sentence with a grubby little gas thief. Okay, there we go. He's a fraud. You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you?
The eye of a man hath not heard. The ear of man hath not seen. Faith, wouldst thou wound me with thy words, were I to let them penetrate the skin. But seraphs hear not insult, only choirs of angels in song. We may not have evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around you until they find it. And when they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights in an Altamont gas explosion.
So Mr. Shamspear has been stealing gas. I wonder, juror number 4, if you wouldn't mind adding that information to your statement.
My pleasure. Was it the bit about ripping that thief apart you enjoyed?
A little before the part about abject violence, if it's not too much trouble.
Yes, of course.
This could be it. This could shift the balance.
The victim puts on a fine performance, but in reality he's a common thief of my company's gas.
So let's... Perfect. We nailed that.
Objection!
These two statements clearly contradict each other. Oh, good gracious. To which statements do you refer, counsel? Juror number 1? What you yelling about, lad? I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement, made by the wife of the owner of Altamont Gas. Well, yes. The victim, who you claim to be a noble, straight-up man, in fact, turns out to be a common thief. So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I both heard them say as much.
It's true, we don't have evidence as such, just yet. But the claims aren't baseless, you know.
What?
You heard me, seeing as his operation has already been compromised. I would suggest that the court hears testimony from our East End branch office employee over there.
Or do whatever you say, my lady. Gasman's honour. Juror number 1, you say you're a man of your word. If I could show that Mr. Shamspear was a liar, you assured me that you would reconsider your decision about the defendant's guilt. Yes, I did say that. As a man of honour, I hold to it. And I'm sure the other gentlemen of the jury will.
Me? Oh, well, yes. Now that we found out the man's a liar, perhaps we ought to consider the matter further.
Well, if I'm not perfectly honest, I haven't heard half of what you've all been saying. So if this means you'll recap a few points, that would suit me down to the ground. Oh no, I'm not having any part of this. I want this trial over and done with.
In that case, I shall change my leaning.
So, Mr. William Shakespeare, if that is your real name. We of the jury demand to know exactly what kind of a man you really are. Nice. Easy.
That's 4 jurors. 4 for not guilty. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. That means we did it. Victory.
Order, order. Well, this is quite extraordinary, I must say. As a result, the defense's summation examination, the jury's leading has changed. Now, only 2 jurors say guilty, whilst 4 say not guilty. I therefore declare this court to be in a state of disaccord, and order the trial to continue. You have spilt the bouquet, Mr. Shakespeare. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury now find they are unable to trust you, the victim. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. So God mend me, I do swear. This gasman speaketh that which concerns him most, naught but gas, naught but thin air. Aye, it burneth bright a while, but it hath no substance, so it doth reek foul. Oi, what did you say? Do I take it, Mr. Shakespeare, that you deny the allegations of gas thievery? Most heartily, my lord, hast thou forget? I am as a seraph, an angel, noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart, and incredibly humble. You flower-mouthed pompous beanpole, just because I haven't got the evidence yet. Mr. Shakespeare, if, in fact, you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart, if you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in this courtroom. It is my considered opinion that at the present time no other possible culprit of this crime has been identified. All testimony heard by the court thus far heavily implicates the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case.
Oh no.
However, in light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be inappropriate for this court not to pursue the point further.
Objection!
I assure you, my lord, that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas in this case are unrelated. Juror number 4. Yes. Didn't you say before that although you had no hard evidence to prove this man had been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him? That's right, we do. Don't we, worker? Absolutely, Lady Quimby. Gasman's honour. Very well, then. We will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, has been stealing gas. Yes, my lord. It'll be my pleasure. On the ultimate
If I may, my lord.
Oops. On the ultimate gas name, I swear. Go ahead, madam. This worker's testimony may have significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind. Woohoo! Oh yay! That's what you saw, Annie? Yeah. Very well. As an exception, I shall honor your request.
Thank you, my lord.
You wait till the boss gives you an earful, or it's gonna sting you, mark my words. So you will both testify before the court. On the subject of the illegal consumption of the Ultimate Gas Company's fuel.
Yes, is that clear, my good man?
Clear as Ultimate Gas, my lady. Which is the clearest in the world. Do you think the gas has gone to his head, Miss Cesato?
I think the man is just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruhodo.
Okay. The Ultimate Gas Company's investigation. All brought say company's East End branch investigate a meet a money collection agent. Ultimate gas meters accept threepenny bits. Each coin given customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas.
And yet the meter in Mr. Shamsby's room didn't have a single coin in it. The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key.
Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. That's not thieving, what is? Pray forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn to my hallowed chalice. Oops. What do you mean by that remark, Lord Van Zeeks? Did the mustachioed Nibonese poison the gangling excuse for an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should concern this court, and yet now we must listen to this abhorrence. So many glasses wasted. Somebody introduced this guy into the future to meet Godot. Clearly, what separates the vast British Empire and your Eastern Island nation is more than geographical distance. But this would turn out to be a crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go ahead. Oh, there that goes. Wonder how many people in the gallery get injured from this guy. Do what you will.
Lord Van Zeeks appears to be in a violent mood.
Really? When is he not? Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning and an incidence of gas theft is no supporting evidence. It's true that they would appear completely unrelated at first glance, but I wonder, the truth tends to be buried in the most unusual places. And the first step in covering it will be to establish just who and what this man really is. Brought be a company's East End branch investigator, meet a money collection agent. Ultimate gas meters accept threepenny bits, each giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas.
Hold it!
So all London houses that have a gas supply are fitted with these gas meters, are they?
They're the latest model, the height of technology, developed by a company, Ultimate Gas. Anyone who uses our gas will have one more of their meters on their property, yes.
So if a 3p coin gives 2 hours of gas, most people would use about 3 coins in a night. Bit more than that usually. They'll have both gas lights and a gas stove, that is. Thinking about it, Suski-san doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he?
Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only have gas for heating. Yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually.
And how does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company?
Every 3 days, gasmen like me visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meters of coins. I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meter cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily it did put a stop to people not paying their dues, for the most part. Because they have to pay in advance, you mean? Yes, exactly right. And yet the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room didn't have a single coin in it.
Hold it!
Out of interest, how long has this been going on? Weeks and weeks. He's been pinching gas or force for ages. And you've examined the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room, I take it?
Naturally, we took it off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb.
And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume?
No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter to be produced. One with an indestructible lock, the Shamspeare Special.
That sounds like it would have cost an awful lot of 3-penny pieces.
But even after all that, the rascal's meter was still empty.
I'll never forget the humiliation when I opened up the money box and found it bare. You what? I said, you what? And the look on his face, that smarmy smile of his. I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of it being jammied open anywhere. Not a single sign. It what's happened to my salary as a result. Down by 3 shillings a day, that's what. A life-threatening situation in a number of ways. Incidentally, what became of that meter? Nothing but came of it. I've still got it. Oh. Right here. Oh, why? Why do they call you Meter Man? I think it would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while the trial is ongoing. Okay. Definitely. Although at first glance, there doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it. That means we should examine it in a second. Let's move this along, shall we? Continue with your testimony. Though I would say it has as much value as the contents of that meter. Oof.
The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key.
Okay, was the meter tampered with? A meter that dispenses gas for a set time after a coin is inserted is sports a very strong lock, developed especially with Mr. Shamspeare in mind. Look, oh look, there's a hole. It looks like it's been tampered with. Oh, what's...
Have you spotted something, Mr. Naruhodo?
Just here, there's a little hole. Do you see?
Goodness, you're right. I wouldn't have noticed.
It's not a very neat hole, is it? Not professionally made, I'd say.
So you think it might have been opened up by Mr. Shamspeare?
Possibly. It seems the people at Ultimate Gas must have missed it.
Well, it certainly seems to go all the way through to the inside.
Yes, but there's no way a coin could fit through there.
It's true, but even so, it seems more than a little suspicious.
A touch coin box sports very strong lock, and there's a tiny hole in its base. Okay, I think it has been tampered with, madam.
Objection!
Lady Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of having been tampered with.
What?
Get away! I've been over and over that thing. Oh, I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it. In that case, well, what do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box? Oh, what?
You're right. You're quite right. There is a little hole there.
The meters aren't supposed to have that. None of the others do. In other words, we can assume that Mr. Shamspeare secretly opened up this hole himself.
Yes, I wanted to be at all surprised, but why?
Yeah, why? Well, I mean, it's tiny. Can't get it farther through that.
Lady Altamont, I wonder if you could give the court some more details about your meter design. What sort of details?
Well, what I'd specifically like to know is how it's dismantled, how it differentiates coins.
How does the meter tell the difference between different coins? What do you mean?
Well, for example, if someone were to put in a 1-penny coin, that wouldn't work presumably, would it?
No, of course not.
So, well, how does the meter know that the coin has been fed as a threepenny bit?
Oh, I see what you're getting at now. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. A threepenny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, you see. Other coins just won't fit.
I see. It's clearly been very well thought out. The witness will lament her formal testimony with that information in case it's pertinent.
As you wish, my lord. The meter is designed for coins the exact diameter and thickness of a threepenny bit. Nothing else will fit.
Okay, I assume we have something to present to that. So let's look at what we got. Cause will something else fit? No, 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 no. Didn't this have a thing on it? Oh! It did have a thing on it. Oh? Look at this bar of soap. There's a circular depression on this side, about 2 centimeters across.
Or 3/4 of an inch. Ah, do you think...
We did find the soap at the scene, didn't we?
Yes. Yes, there were 2 bars on that little ledge just outside the window, so we took this one. But I'm sure that when we first found it, there was some sort of reddish medallion in the middle there. I remember it clearly.
Yes, but there's no sign of it now. Where could it have gone? I think I have your answer. I think he was making models of coins that maybe melt or something? Oops. That's why he has so much soap.
Objection!
Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any object as if it were a threepenny bit. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, by something of a coincidence, while we were investigating in Mr. Shamspeare's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly.
Something the same size as a threepenny bit? What was it?
The item in question is this. Oh, have you been inhaled gas? That's a bar of soap.
It certainly looks nothing like a threepenny bit, I must say.
It looks like I'm gonna have to point out exactly what I mean here. What's so important about the soap? It's this part here.
Got it!
You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean.
Oh. Are you referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there?
That's right, a depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as a threepenny bit. Get away! Does anyone here present have in their possession a threepenny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen.
It sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it?
Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have here a threepenny bit. Now to see if it fits. My word, it couldn't be more snug. Yes, as I suspected. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Altamont Gas Company is being defrauded.
I don't believe it.
So, your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has tentative connection to the theft of gas. Yes. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a threepenny bit. I must concur, at least, that pushing a coin with some force into a bar of soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape. But you could use some wax or something to pour into the mold. You can make fake coins in no time. This brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the method Mr. Shamspear has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet.
But this is all nonsense. If the man had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter.
Quite true, Lady Altamont. In the absence of some black magic that could make them disappear. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There is one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air, yes. Exactly. And the meter here gives it away.
What on earth?
There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. Is it the hole that we already showed? If that is your assertion, counsel, the defense will identify these remnants for the court at once. Where on the meter can the remnants of the method used to make the fake coins disappear be seen? Was he like making like ice molds or something and then they would melt?
No. There's this little hole. Yeah, we know. It looks as though it was made by somebody who didn't really have the right tools. It does actually go all the way through to the inside, though it's hard to see that unless you look closely. In fact, it goes right through to the part of the meter where the money ends up.
I suppose it's nothing then. Oh, well, you couldn't possibly extract a coin through such a small hole, could you?
No, I suppose not.
But then the question remains, why would somebody go to the effort of making a hole here?
Got it!
We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window. Outside? Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meterman, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found this soap. Oh, I'll get it. That's right. The answer, of course, is ice. Yep. Did you say ice? Mr. Shamspear has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening, filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in spades. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter's coin box melts, turning back into water, and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas. A genius, one must say.
Like that, so simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all with some bars of soap and some water.
That's right, madam.
I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water would render it totally useless.
I'm fairly sure I didn't design it.
Evidence.
Sorry.
I want evidence. If you're going to stand there and tell me our meters are rubbish, I want to see proof. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she?
Susanna looked so sad. Very well, Lady Altamont. If you like evidence, I'll provide it.
What? Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying you do actually have evidence to support this theory?
I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little at that time. And I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now could explain it. The piece of evidence that substantiates the theory about how Mr. Shamspears was stealing gas is... No. No. Nope. No. No. Oh. There's a puddle. There's literally a puddle under the coin box. Okay.
Take that!
This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. And it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamspear. What remnants? Here you can see the gas meter on the wall in Mr. Shamspear's room. Now look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. What is that? Some kind of grubby stain? Almost certainly it's a water stain resulting from the liquid that drained out the hole made in the meter. If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage and the occupant was heating his room in all his waking hours, we can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor. This is awful. And there's further evidence too. Mr. Shamspear is slumped over his table, apparently having consumed strychnine. And right there next to him is a bar of soap, broken in half. You're right. It would appear to me then, counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he? Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but certainly not.
He didn't beat about the bush there, did he?
In truth, Mr. Shamspear was found with a fork in his hand. A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely, loud Fanseeks. To mean the sight, he was using that fork to... Yes. To extract a frozen coin from the bar of soap. Sholmes was correct. He was eating soap. Damn it. Sholmes, he was way ahead of us.
Oh. But the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well.
Good gracious. Oh. That's another gallery member down. Lord Van Zeeks? I was throwing my hand up in despair, and happened to catch my hallowed bottle on the way. Pray forgive my maladroit mistake. Oh no, it was an accident. He's so efficient at drinking his wine. What is the meaning of this, counsel? Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination?
That he's a liar and a cheat.
Well...
That Mr. William Shamspear is a liar and a thief.
Oh! I almost nailed that. That's so funny. I love this game.
In other words, that his testimony is unreliable. Sure. Yeah. That's it. That's exactly it. You share a brain cell with the third best character in the game. Hell yeah. I'll take it. Bagman seeks and shops. Very well. Let us assume the man is a liar. Now, allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make? Well, we know that suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no sign of another vessel that contained poison. And on the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except the accused. The young gasman's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Even if William Shakespeare is the liar you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for immediate adjudication. You... What? Ugh. Order, order. Well, counsel, how does the defense respond? Mr. Naruhodo.
What was the point of that last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Or did it make no difference at all, like Lord Von Zieks is saying? You know what they say, in times of need, raise an objection. I don't see the point in giving up now. No, this isn't over. The defense will not rest. What? But, counsel, you've successfully explained everything. You've identified and substantiated the unscrupulous method employed by Mr. Shakespeare to consume gas. What more is there to discuss? Lord Von Zieks just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point. But contrary to what he would at the court believe, not all of them have been objectively established at all. What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend? At least one of those so-called facts is an assumption made due to a lack of evidence. You made me anime pose. But the situation has changed now, following the cross-examination of the latest witnesses to take the stand. Don't be absurd. What is this nonsense? Yes, when you bring everything we've learned so far together and consider it as a whole, it's clear. There's a question that we now need to reconsider. Namely, was someone else responsible? Was there another visitor? Was the poison in the tea? Ooh. Well, yes, because that's what I'm saying. I don't think there was poison in the tea. I said that earlier in this trial. But just in case I'm wrong. Don't like being wrong. We've all been led to believe that the strychnine poison that afflicted Mr. Shakespeare was in the tea brought to him by Mr. Natsume, but that's conjecture at best.
Objection!
The victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There was no other possibility.
Yeah, but he's a liar.
And since there was no trace of the tea left at the scene, it couldn't be tested for traces of the poison.
Objection!
As I said, the situation has changed. Because in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene. And a particular piece of evidence proves it.
Objection!
A ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard detectives investigated this scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed? The defense has made a bold claim indeed. Very well, counsel. Present your proof. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? No, maybe.
Maybe. No. Maybe. I think he used the tea as a mold for the mold. Because didn't they say that the water was frozen? That's why he brought down the tea. I think he's using the tea. That's why he waited to drink it. To quote unquote drink it. Good gracious. The soap again? Okay. Okay. I think we're on the right page. The same bar the victim used to fashion his coins of ice. Yes, that's right, my lord. It just came back to me. Something about when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday.
It's more bars of soap.
Soap? What are bars of soap doing lined up on a ledge outside the window? I'm quite certain that when we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap, there was actually a frozen coin in each bar. So you discovered the gas thief's coin factory. Fascinating. In a way, yes, but there's more. The coins we found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice. There was something strange about them, you mean? They were red, weren't they? Exactly, something very obviously strange. They were red. The ice was red. No, you mean... That's right. It's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea. What? I would remind the court of a statement made by Mr. Natsume earlier in the trial. Good evening. Yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspeare's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I brought bottled water especially to make it. Yeah. And this is a result. Never will I touch tea again. Never. Yes, I believe there had been a snowfall that day. It was particularly cold. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the East End are prone to freezing. So on the night in question, Mr. Shamspeare, having no running water to use, was forced to use the tea brought by Mr. Natsume in order to make his fake coins. My word! There were 2 bars of soap on the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene.
That's right, and we only borrowed one of them.
Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime. Frozen solid in a bar of soap outside Mr. Shamspeare's window. Extraordinary. Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that if even 1 drop of tea remains, Scotland Yard will be able to analyze it for poison. As such, we are now in a position to prove or disprove what has until now been mere conjecture. By finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsume's tea actually contains strychnine at all. Strychnine? You smug Nipponese. My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. The police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once. And the defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it, to determine whether or not it contains any poison. Bailiff, instruct the police to attend the scene at once. Yes, my lord, understood.
would seem we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no objection, Lord Van Zeeks. None, my lord. Scotland Yard will recover the teeth from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. The prosecution and defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim. Yes, my lord. Well... we managed to scrape through there somehow. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned until tomorrow. To be continued. 2 hours on the dot. Look at that.
Well, well, well.
Well, my friends, I think with that, it's time to end. Thank you all so much for joining the stream today. Let's find someone to raid. Who is live? This has been very fun. This is a very good case. Starwin9x9 is doing mahjong. They're cool. We can raid them. Sure. Absolutely. I love taking suggestions. Then my Inazuma friend is awesome. Let's raid them then. I'm sure I spelled that right. Yep. Well, thank you guys for joining me. We're gonna send you all off on a raid to spread some love. Inazuma 11, Osaka RPG. Ooh, cool. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll be back again most likely tomorrow night for more Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So yeah, take care, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!